Was the story of Janthir Wilds a home run or a non-starter? These are my thoughts on the latest expansion from Guild Wars 2. There will be spoilers ahead, so jump ship now if you have not finished the main story arc. But please do come back and share your thoughts on the game's second annual expansion ever. Before we begin, hey, I'm Fornax, welcome to my channel. Pull up a chair, make yourself at home, and do share your feelings in the comments below. I'm focusing on the story for my first review, and although the slice of lowland life we got with Janthir was quite small, at least for me it was very satisfying. Both ethically and aesthetically, the culture of the lowland Coden is a joy to explore. These hench teddy bears are a glorious mix of hardcore survivalist with a honeyed core of permacultural community spirit. Their society has nurtured and carved out a comfortable, sustainable way of life in the heart of a wilderness which is, well, anything but. The tales of their trials and tribulations are lovingly told, both in the main narrative arc and the many map-bound mini-dramas you will uncover. Some are silly, some sweet, and some genuinely heartbreaking. In the past, the writers have been a little too fond of murdering their darlings. Still too soon. However, in Janthir Wilds, I've had several moments that have brought me to tears and close to tears, and no one had to be summarily executed, which was amazing. The most moving moments being honest reflections on love and loss and the endurance of the spirit. The stories playing out in the open world are foundational to the main narrative and enhance and enrich both. This is something that was sorely lacking in the final throes of Secrets of the Obscure. All this, I think, speaks to perhaps a ethos shift in narrative delivery, more meaningful stories told over a longer period with more attention to detail and tone and pacing. There seem to be 3 narrative threads playing out in Janthir Wilds. The story of the Wizard's Court searching for Waiting Sorrow, the love story between Waiting Sorrow and Stoic Older, and the rising threat of the newly emerged Titans. The Alliance Council being tied into the Titans via Malice and Kaith and our investigations. I will say I'm very happy to see a representative of the Dominion of Winds at the council meeting, giving us hope of future exploration of that culture and region, but I feel the Alliance will play a more prominent role as a narrative prime mover alongside the court in future content. So, the question is, how successful do I think the storytelling here was? And as ever, of course, these things are incredibly subjective, and I can understand if you feel like there was too little story, too little plot development. I was hoping myself for more character exploration, specifically of Isgaran. Happily, we did get some, but at the very end of the kind of opening salvo of Janthir, with the possibility of more as Sorrow and Ren settle things after a centuries-long hiatus. I will say that I did notice that the interactions between Sorrow and Isgaran, she immediately softened his character, shattering his carefully constructed wall of frigid curmudgeonry with a few airy words. Now, did I want more of almost everything? Well, sadly, of course, but that is not a bad thing in itself. And I will say, a lot of the story and general lore of Janthir arrives in the form of books and poems and notes and NPC chatter. So if you are not paying attention, not taking the time to read, to stay a while and listen, you will miss the lion's share of, well, everything. Now, it is arguable that telling stories like this, especially as our collective attention spans are being culled by the TikTok of it all, it's not best practice. However, the delivery, I think, matches the ethos of the expansion and the world. If you're rushing through, hair on fire in full binge mode, you will pop out the other side of Janthir's sugar rush high with an empty feeling. If, however you take the time to touch grass, to catch kittens, to explore when you arrive at the pause at the close of the main chapter, you will likely feel fuller, if not completely satisfied. And again, wanting more story, especially with so many narrative threads left frayed, is a good thing. And those threads, those frayed ends are numerous. Here are just a few. Do Isgarin and Sorrow work out their differences? Will she return to the court or to her people? Can the stoic Older forgive her? Will we face more titans more than the 3 we have uncovered so far? Will we go to the Forge of Failed Creations in the Realm of Torment to stop the creation of more titans? And discover who is forging these titans and why? And why have they been sent to Janthir Wilds specifically? It's probably to do with the Bloodstones and the return of the Masat. Maybe. Probably, maybe. But how many of these questions will be satisfyingly answered remains to be seen. The writers are in real time still finding out how much is too much to chew, as it were. I just hope they keep the focus on character development, because that is the beating heart of all good stories. Now, I was also happy to see the return of one of the main characters that was sorely missing during Secrets, the map. For me, the environment has always been one of the leading ladies of Guild Wars 2. They have almost always been a treasure box of hidden lore and secret locations and story, which has enduringly deepened and enriched the world and the gaming experience, and I've got to be honest, my mental health. In the main maps of Secrets of the Obscure, that for me was lost. Janthir Wilds is a return to form, and honestly, I could not be happier. They are a joy to explore. So if your jam is exploration, the wilds will be a breath of fresh air for you. Have fun, enjoy. No expansion is perfect. So here are a few missed opportunities, specifically talking about the story. So I think the story needed more time with Sorrow before her identity was revealed. It certainly needed more interactions between her and Stoic Older, as their love story is foundational. It's more hinted at than realised in its current state, unfortunately. I was happy to see unlocking the spear linked to the main story, and I only wish we could have had more. Maybe a scripted instance or 2 showcasing the Coden's culture around and reverence of the weapon and our evolving skill mastery of it. But again, great that they tied it into the story. I would have enjoyed more time taming and interacting with our journeykin narratively. The initial interaction was brilliant and a great example of game-centric storytelling. I would have loved just more of that. A personal instance showing the Coden's relationship with these wonderful creatures, and a cutscene showing journeykin's kinship to the Warclaw would have been awesome too. There is NPC chatter about this. I love that they're tying the Warclaw into the journeykin and weaving the fabric of the lore with it. Just more. I would have also loved a cutscene or montage of Sorrow's mental battle with Coda, including Isgarin's intercession, as well as her life in the court and friendship with Dagda, her leaving the court as well, scenes of her returning to Janthir and her time there. And it's not just Sorrow. Where are the scenes of Stoic Older and his mate Silken Weir? Their life, their loves. Where is the scene of them in bed with their son sleeping between them under the woven blanket of new beginnings? Where is the scene of Stoic burning that same blanket when she was lost? And it's not just touching scenes that could have been brought to life with cinematics. The horrors of the White Mantle and what they did in Gavrael could have been depicted to great effect in a montage. It is one thing to read of the evils of war. It is another to see it. This part of our tale could have been so much more impactful if it were not just text, not just an NPC speaking on a map, although the voice acting is, of course, wonderful. I want to see these histories given the spectacle, given the weight that they deserve. We need more NPC rendered cutscenes. They would have, I think, enriched the story and the player experience greatly, whilst filling in the gaps for those who do not want to or are unable to read the many in-game texts which give vital context and detail to the story and the world. I think there should have been flashbacks for the relationship between the Flame Legion and the Titans and Kilbron's machinations. Not everybody knows this lore. We need to bring it off the page, bring it out of the annals of history, make it real for the player base. At the very start of Janthir Wilds, there should have been a catch-up story summary. In fact, each expansion should have such a summary. It's unrealistic to expect returning players to have perfect recall of past events. Maybe a priori NPC could appear at the start of every expansion, where we can access both existing cutscenes from expansions we've previously played, as well as a recap montage to get us up to speed and on the right foot going into the new content. Overall, I think we need more cinematic moments in-game to aid immersion, with a skip button for those who are not interested. If there is not one already, I think Anet needs a dedicated visual storytelling team to elevate their narrative delivery, to aid and enrich character development, to give gravitas to emotionally charged scenes, to add levity to comedic moments, and to help the community generate memeable shorts and GIFs which will help propagate engagement outside the walled garden of the Guild Wars 2 fandom. How successful the story of Janthir Wilds will be remembered as will depend on how well the team delivers the quarterly game updates. If they drop the ball, all the improvements made and the lovely storytelling of the main release will be overshadowed again. It's unfair. It's undeserved. But unfortunately, entirely possible. I give Janthir Wilds a 4 out of 5 stars. Lovely tale, interesting character and beautiful setting, if a bit short and lacking in forward momentum. Let me know what you loved and loathed about Janthir Wilds below, and whilst you're down there, please show some love to my wondrous supporters on Patreon and Subscribestar. They keep the lights on here and I can never thank them. Thank you all enough. Without your kindness, there would be a lot less Herald content and much lower quality at that, so thank you all so very much. Keeping me here, keeping me sane. You're awesome. And sending many hugs to ArenaNet too. I loved playing Janthir Wilds. Well done to everyone who worked so hard to bring this imagined realm to life. Thank you. And many thanks too for your partner program, of whom I am a proud affiliate. Their links below allow you to help out me directly when you buy their expansions without costing you a penny more, and if you're clicking to try the game for free, not a penny at all. But sadly, now we have come to the end of the video, so until we meet again, please stay safe, stay awesome, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.